Anthony, why are we even doing SEO?
Well, that's what I'm here to tell you, mate.
Right? So what's the point? What's the objective of doing SEO? Why is it an endeavor that people engage in?
Mate, SEO is one which has been around for a while and it's got a bit of a interesting reputation. And I think it's right for it to have that reputation considering some of the experiences that people have had. But for SEO, it is a channel, it is an online digital marketing channel that you can control. Your website is a platform that you can control. Your soapbox, your opportunity to talk about what it is that you do, sell products, and be able to leverage your website as a channel to drive more traffic, drive more users, whatever the business goals may be, and earn traffic from Google and open up another digital marketing channel when things might be getting a bit expensive with paid ads or social or some other, some of the channels have dropped off. So SEO is a channel that you can really push on, and it's about as much effort, the more effort you put into it, the more quality, the more that you work on it, the better your chances are to rank higher and get more traffic from your website and get a return on investment from your website, because people do spend a fair bit of money on websites.
Yeah. So what would be the typical difference between getting better brand awareness via SEO or getting leads via SEO? Because I guess these are two radically different things, right? So you can increase the traffic on your website thanks to good SEO, but for what purpose?
So this is where it matches up with a business goal. So why are you doing what you're doing? So the goal for SEO, if someone comes to us, is like, all right, I need more leads. I need more money. My paid ads is too expensive. My competitors are beating me. So what is that why? And then what are the business goals? And then SEO, along with any other marketing channel, should then answer those questions going, all right, you want to make more money. You want to drive more leads. You want to drive more signups. You need to sell more demos, whatever it may be. You come in it with the SEO strategy to be like, all right, this is what we need to do from an SEO perspective to achieve those business goals. And I think brand SEO is still important, and people get caught up in the non-branded side, which, that's what SEO is. Like, yeah, we need to target this keyword so people can find us. Great. But you also, in this day and age, you also can't forget about the brand side. So it sort of comes hand in hand, I would say, where, traditionally the focus will be non-branded people who don't know who you are but are looking for your products and service. Let's get them in the door and then build that up, but still having, a bit of an eye on your brand and what you can do, brand-focused content, multimedia, imagery, videos, pumping that sort of side as well. Because, it's not like it was 5, 10, 15 years ago. Brand and working with people, and people buy from other people. So it's a bit of a mix. But in the early days, skewed to getting you non-branded, getting people in who don't know who you are, and then building up.
Absolutely love it. So to get a bit tactical then, what is an SEO supposed to do? Like let's say I'm an SEO. I want to move the needle to drive business growth. How do I actually make that happen?
So you're speaking to a client, or you're a freelancer, you're a consultant, you're an agency, you need to have that initial discovery call to actually put yourself in the client's or potential client's shoes. What are their pain points? What is their business? Is their business actually suitable for SEO? Do people who they want to buy from them or engage with them actually use their website, actually use SEO? Is SEO a viable channel? So some of those questions you got to ask are around the business, around their pain points, around how they actually get clients in the first place, how the business actually works. Because if you don't understand that and you just try and shoehorn in an SEO strategy, it's probably not going to be that successful because you haven't got an understanding of the business. So the first point of call is understanding the business, understanding the client, understanding their pain points, understanding their problems, and understanding how it all works. If you've got good positive answers and you're confident on those responses, and you go, all right, we can actually do something here. This is viable. We've got a bit of traction. Then the next step would be, what is the current state of the website? What are you actually working with? What's the foundation of the site? How bad is the technical SEO? Or how good is it? Because some websites are fine. How's their content? Do they have any content? What pages are they missing? What commercial opportunities should they be targeting? What should they be going for? What's their content resource? Then you look at things like link building. How's their domain authority? How are they getting links at the moment? Are they getting links? Are they getting that authority through where Google can see what they're all about and getting other websites to vouch for them? Then you look at things like international and local SEO. That's the SEO bit of it. And then the third part of it would be the actual workings of the company. What other channels are they doing that may compete, or you might have to take budget away to do an SEO campaign? What's the timing? What's the current climate of the business? What's the resource like? Do they have a dev? Do they have a retainer with somebody? Do they have in-house content writer? Are they working with partners? So I think there's three elements there of the understanding the business, understanding their pain points, understanding their challenges, and understanding if SEO is actually the right fit for them. Then you've got the actual SEO elements, so their website, their current foundation, what's currently going on online, the thing that you're going to work on to get more leads, get more traffic, get more sales, get more demos, get more forms, whatever it may be. And then the third will be the actual resourcing budget sort of side that you need to answer. And the more you do that, you're giving yourself the better chance to try and get a good fit for yourself, but also give the client an honest answer as to if it's a good fit for them or not. Because as you start out an agency, you probably won't answer and ask those questions, and we all do it. You try and sign the client because you need the money in the early days, and you learn that as you grow. But trying to do your due diligence, like large companies do, saves you in the long run. Saves the client's money, saves your time, saves your reputation, and it's just it traditionally and theoretically should work out better for you in the long run.
That makes a lot of sense, but it also sounds like a lot of work. So what does a typical SEO team looks like? And here I'm interested to get your take on, because you're quite approaching this from a SEO agency standpoint, which is awesome. But what if I have an SEO team in-house? Like, how does it typically look like? I think you mentioned like a content writer in-house. But so what are the skills, I guess we get it because that's basically what you just explained. But like, how many efficient skills or tailored skills can one have? And how many different people you need in a team like this to really have a proper SEO strategy? What have you seen in the space?
Yeah, so if you look at it from an in-house perspective, this is where it gets a bit tricky. On the larger clients, you're going to have so many stakeholders. If you're working for a big brand, you're going to have product, you're going to have brand, you're going to have sales, you're going to have marketing, you're going to have the CFOs, you're going to have the board. There's so many people wanting to get their hands in, so many stakeholders, so many different sort of working parts. So typically in-house for larger brands, it takes a bit more time to get things done. You really have to prove the business case. You really have to think in that sort of commercial minded, plus also understand the politics and office of how things work to get things done. On the smaller side, if you've got like an SEO specialist in-house, you're working for a small, say you're an e-commerce brand, Shopify, for example, and you got an in-house SEO specialist, the things that they need to be, they're going to only be one person. So if you've got an agency, okay, you've got more resource, but that one person, you're going to have to work on priorities. What tools do they have? Are they equipped with all the tools that they need? Yes. Okay, you've got the tools. Tick. Can they actually, how big are those technical SEO issues? Now, some of the SEO specialists will be able to do a lot, but others will need dev support. Are you supporting them with devs? Do you have a retainer to support that in-house? So that one in-house person will need support on tools, maybe support on devs. If you're undertaking large projects, you're definitely going to need support on devs. Content, sometimes SEO specialists can write content. So, but that also takes away time from maybe doing other things. So you may need a content writer or at least content resource, whether that's another person in the team or you work with a freelancer. So that SEO specialist should be able to get, within reason, get things done on the website. Like if you're working with a Shopify or WordPress or something simple, should be able to get things done, basic technical SEO, metadata, internal links, fixing up pages, heading structure, setting up, blog category, schema markup, doing a fair bit if they're well versed in it, doing research, doing competitor research, keyword research. They should be able to handle all of that. It's when you get into the larger side of projects or we're undertaking a website redesign, and you throw that on SEO specialist, I'll probably scream. So this is where a qualified SEO specialist in-house should be able to do a fair bit and take that, cover that. But you're going to have to think about supporting them one way or another with potentially dev support for larger projects, and content support, as well as the cost of tools, really. So they're the three things in like the smaller to medium, if you're hiring just a specific SEO specialist in-house.
So it feels like it might be a better strategy to look at an external agency who might already have all those talents if you don't have the budget, not the resources, not the time to build a team on your own. So I think we discussed before this call 3 different types of agencies when you're looking for a potential SEO agency to work with. So can you walk us through those different type of agencies, Anthony, and explain us a bit the pros and cons of each?
Yeah. So in my experience, what you've got is you've got agencies that just think, which is great. If you're paying for that and you just want a bit of advice, awesome, great. But you need to think about who's going to implement that. So what tends to happen is brands will come along and they'll go to an agency and go, yeah, we want this audit, or we want this, or give us some advice on that. But then they never actually do anything with it. It was just a waste of money. Agency's happy because they got paid. So there's ones that just provide advice and consulting in it. Now, if you're paying for that, all right, fine. But if you're going to an agency thinking they're going to do it as well, and they're just providing you with some advice, strike one. Next one is like ones that have that strategic mindset, can, provide that sort of consultation. Yeah, do this, do that, but they actually execute, which again, that's a tick, because, all right, they're trying to think about your business. They're trying to, from an SEO perspective, oh, this is cool. We need to fix this. We need to fix that. And they'll actually ideally go in and do it. Right. That's a positive. But the one that you really want to try and push to be is like ones that think strategically and commercially. As I mentioned before, think about your business, think about the goals. How does SEO strategy match up with the actual business goals? Because that's what you're here for. Otherwise, we're not here to make the cool case studies for how technical this SEO thing is that we fix for this client. That might look good in SEO circles, but as an agency, you want to make it so that you are providing value to the business to help them achieve their goals. So you've got the thinking, you've got the doing, but ones that drive value to the business. So commercially minded, strategically minded, matching up the SEO strategy with the business goals, actually executing that plan with either the agency's team or the in-house team actually doing it, but prioritization and importance to drive business value. Because there's no point like, oh, I fixed one link in the footer. Like, who cares? Great. But what are the priorities? What are the things that will actually drive value? Because they like fixing one link in the footer, great, you fix technical SEO. But is that going to provide 400 more leads over the next 6 months? Probably not. What is overall technical SEO for improving the baseline and health of the site? Content strategy and creating important pages. So for a SaaS, creating solutions pages, creating pages about the features of the product, creating a knowledge base, FAQs, creating content and building opportunities that will drive value to the business. They're the big things, because SEOs tend to get caught up in the minutiae of SEO. And unfortunately for SEOs only care about SEO. The average business owner knows what SEO does or should do, but their whole point is, I need to make more money, I need to make more sales, I need to make more forms, I need to leverage my website to make more money and grow my business to achieve my dreams and goals. From an SEO perspective, it's like, oh, I did this really cool thing that I could turn into an SEO case study from my SEO friends, but what you want is an agency that matches that up. The cool SEO, impactful SEO strategy and execution with business goals to drive business value. So that's where you want to be. You want to be that third one of thinking, doing, and driving value.
So how do you go about making sure that the SEO agency or SEO agencies that you're talking to fall into one or the other category of those SEO agencies? Because I guess when you want to make an educated decision about, hey, okay, what I need right now is just a roadmap, a strategy that I can go towards the first type of agency, right? If I actually need somebody to implement it for me, because I know what I want, I know what the business value will be behind it, but I need expertise and like just implementation, I might want to go to the other one. And of course, I'm going to cover the last one. Hey, actually, I need somebody to do everything, but also to understand the business objectives behind it. I mean, you probably want to make sure that you don't hire the wrong SEO agency here. So how do you make sure that you're finding the right agencies? What are the questions to ask? How do you make that happen? Hey, if you're still listening to this, you probably find this conversation interesting, and that means that others might too. So the best way you can support this podcast for free is to leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening to this show. This helps the podcast more than I could say. It means other SEOs can learn and get access to our amazing guests, and that will mean the world to me. All right, with that being said, back to the episode.
So if you're looking for the first one, the ones that think, are you set up correctly? So if you have that in-house team where you just need someone to give you additional bandwidth and give you additional strategy, that's fine. So you want to look at their results, their wins, their case studies. And case studies, good and bad. You want to be able to look at Google reviews. You want to be able to look at asking them for recommendations from current clients. We've had that where people ask us, who are your current clients? Let's talk to them. What have you done before? Do you have experience in the space? So there's some of the things. Case studies, talk to current clients, check out their actual team and size of the business. Do they have the team that will actually match the size of your site and what you're asking and what your goals are? If you're a £30 million business with 60% of your rev on your website, are you going to give it to a one-man band? Probably not. So it's just being able to understand that context of your business, but also what the agency can do. Awards, okay, they do provide some value, but you do tend to take some of them with a grain of salt. So you really want to see the results. You ask them for some clients they've worked on, try and check the websites themselves, see if you can do some digging as to have those numbers improved. So trying to suss them out from that point of view. How experienced is the team? How big are the budgets? Because you don't want to miss expectation. You don't want to miss the expectations there as well. So there's some of the things that you should be looking at in terms of what to ask an agency and just try and probe them a bit. You'd probably also ask them about experience in the sector. Now, not every agency is going to have experience in every sector, but it's just then trying to make that educated decision of, do I trust the team? Do I trust the work that they've done in other spaces to then work with them in this space? Because you can get the best SEO agency, and they might not have worked in this space, but if your team have got the experience in this really niche sort of business area, well, then you can work together, and that's how it should be. So you can really probe them on a few things, but try not to get caught up in the vanity, and just trying to ask them the hard questions and trying to suss out as best you can with the work that they've done in the past or currently.
I love this. So once you've made your selection and you found the one, right? How do you make sure that is for people who are looking to work with agencies or have worked but got burnt and are trying to do it again, but in the right way? How do you actually two things? How do you actually hold the SEO agency accountable for the results that they provide and they get? Not only, right, also the process, communication, and so on. But I'm also thinking right now, your team, how do you make sure that you hold accountable everybody to say, hey, okay, yeah, the agency didn't deliver on that. That's the former consultant speaking here. At the same time, the client took 2 months more than expected to deliver XYZ report whatsoever. So how do you manage that, the ongoing communication, accountability, and making sure that you all go in the right direction?
Yeah. So the first step is probably that at the start, trying to do due diligence and setting the tone from the start, setting the expectations from the start. Communication is key. So any agency should be open and upfront with what they are doing, whether it's monthly reports, fortnightly meetings, dashboard, however they are communicating as best they're communicating and clearly to detail to the client what is going on and what they're doing, but matching up that report and their call and what they want with the actual business goals. There's no point reporting on 5 people went to this blog when they need to sell more of X. So that's where you want to try and match the communication with the business goals and tell them exactly what they need to hear, because education is still growing in the SEO space. And I appreciate marketing managers have to cover a fair bit. So some might be stronger in SEO than others, but they've got a lot on their plate when they're working for SME businesses and they can't cover everything. So you as an agency trying to keep it as clear and as simple as possible and matching up with the goals and important things that matter to that marketing manager, to that founder, to that CMO, whoever it may be, to make their lives easier. So that communication is key. Clients will hold you accountable because they're paying the bills, but you as an agency should hold them accountable because your reputation is on the line. You signed them, they've believed in you, you've sold to them, they've believed in your strategy. I hope so, and you haven't, haven't robbed them. But they believe in your strategy, they believe in what you do, they believe in your team, you believe that you can provide results. Holding the client accountable, because if the client is limiting you to what, limiting your ability to get things done, well, that impacts results. And the client typically will turn around and say, hey, you haven't done anything. And this is where as an agency, as you grow, and you get older and you're in business for a bit longer, your spine does develop, and then you have more confidence to say, look, hey, no, this is what happened. Here are all the receipts. Here's the evidence. You didn't do X, Y, Z. And, people might not be typical, and it might not be something that people like to do. And yeah, granted, but it's hard to do. It's like, the clients pay me. But if they are impacting your results because they're not getting things done, you got to call them out on that. And there may be various reasons. They don't have the resource. They don't have the budget. They're buying another business, so money's gone to that. So, but it's having that open communication in a frank way to be like, look, what's going on with the business? We haven't heard from you from X. We haven't got this done. We're trying to provide value to your business through SEO. We need X, Y, Z done so we can do this more. And you have that frank conversation with them. And usually, you're coming at it from a point of, I'm trying to help you. We're here, you're paying us because we're the experts and we're trying to help you grow this channel so you can do more of what you wanted to do and sell more and make more money. So it's having that frank conversation, which they should appreciate, but you as an agency need to do, because sometimes agencies will get a bit scared and they'll just, or agencies completely forget, and account managers change and the client forgets and you forget, and they just get invoiced, and it happens. So that's where that open and clear communication is key.
So putting myself in the shoes of the agencies now, how do you manage expectations? And the reason I'm asking this is kind of twofold. It's like, what's reasonable to promise and guarantee as an SEO agency, what is not? But also, it's interesting because we have a foot in two worlds, the podcast world and the SEO world. And it's very funny because in the podcast world, things take time, especially if you're starting out a podcast. Now, it can be very well accelerated if you leverage a platform that has a built-in growth algorithm. Typically TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, whatsoever. You take snippets of the podcast, put them into those machines, and you make most out of the growth algorithm built in those tools. I have the feeling that in SEO, you kind of have the same dilemma, because SEO is the long-term play. If you go for SEA, you can have very fast results at a different cost. It's a different strategy. But so, looking purely at SEO, my understanding is that things take time, but then how do you manage expectations, and how much should you wait now as a client before you say, hey, we are not getting the results that we want? How do you typically manage all that?
So that's where, again, the due diligence comes in, to try and understand their goals, understand the resource, understand what you're working with. Nothing of value was built in a day. And I know in this high time preference world where everyone wants everything now, and especially when you've got Google Ads and you've got social, where you can go viral over one post and things can happen overnight. Anybody who's built a business worth anything typically has been slaving away for a fair while. And those who have worked hard for years and years and years to earn their way to the top of Google are all of a sudden not going to give that away. Alternatively, if it was easy to get to the top of Google, everyone would be doing it and there'd be no value in it anyway, and Google wouldn't be $1 trillion company. So the way you try and manage the expectations is understanding the website you're working with, understanding the client, understanding the goals, and what you can feasibly do with the resource, time, budget, and actual ability to get things done. You could have the biggest goals in the world, but if the client has to sign off on everything and there's 40 million stakeholders and nothing ever gets done, you could be sitting there in 15 meetings trying to organize a meta title, and you said to them, hey, we need to increase sales by 400%, but they can't even agree on a few words. Nothing's ever going to get done. So you do go through this learning process as you go through the agency, but I would be like, start with their business goals, understand their resource, be honest with it, be honest with budgets. This is what your company can do. What can you do on the client side? And you work on a priority basis to try and move the needle. The things that we'll say to clients in terms of things that they should, because people get caught up in, oh, my Moz DA went down 2 points and my toxic score is terrible. No one cares. Like fundamentally, they're third-party tools. If you can see on your Google Analytics or your Shopify that you're making money and traffic's coming through and your keywords are ranking, but Moz went down 2 points, what? You don't believe what your eyes see? You don't believe the money that's coming through the account? So that happens too. So I would be like, what's the base? You take a baseline of where you're at, take a baseline of what you've achieved, and you've got to take, and SEO isn't in a vacuum either, because there's external factors that occur. So what's happening now is that people are trying to compare their 2024 numbers to 2020 and 2021. They're like, oh, we were flying in the COVID times. Yeah, because, mate, everything was locked down. They only had the website. So it's like it's a different world because a lot of people think that it's in a vacuum. It's like, mate, no one had a choice in 2020. You're locked up. So, of course, your website numbers are going to be higher. And it's not like, there's external factors there. So setting a baseline with context, organic traffic, keywords you're ranking for, what keywords you want to rank for, non-branded clicks, non-branded impressions, branded search, how many forms you're getting through the website currently, what are your other channels doing? Because PPC will affect SEO and vice versa. What's the current, what are the top products that are making money? What's the channel making, what's SEO or your channels making through revenue over 6 to 12 months? Take that baseline and then you just try and you go, all right, we want to, very general, because if you put any, if you try and guarantee anything in SEO, something will screw you, whether it's Google or clients or yourself or team or God, who knows. So what tends to happen is SEOs will do a forecast based off your Google Search Console data as best you can. But again, it's just a forecast. Things change. So you can use that to be able to be like, all right, we want to improve it by X or Y. But we usually tend to keep it simple. This was your traffic when we started the campaign. These were your keywords that you're ranking for in your rankings when you started the campaign. This was your money. These were your top products. These were your top performing pages. And you track that over the long term. If your website's in a decent shape, you could actually see results relatively quickly. And you get things moving. Yes, SEO is a long-term game to earn your way to the top, 100%. But there are some low-hanging fruit, some quick wins. If you are both aligned, if the client and the agency are like humming, you can really get things done quickly and you see results in a couple of months. But in that long term, to build this as a sustainable channel for the long term where you're earning traffic and beating competitors, where you can potentially reduce PPC spend and shift it to other keywords that competitors aren't bidding on, and you can dominate that, then yeah, it will take, it's a long-term sort of viewpoint.
Wow. This is gold, Anthony. So a quick question that I like to be punchy. What's the number one mistake that people make when it comes to choosing an agency?
Not diving deeper, the why of doing SEO and getting caught up in the glamour and the, not digging deeper into, like I said, the results, the case studies, probing into the actual clientele and experience, because people, that's why awards are there. They get sucked in and they're great as as tools to market yourself. And misaligned expectations and not doing enough due diligence. I know there's 3 there, but there's a fair bit there. But why are you doing SEO? Aligning expectations, being honest with the resource, and then being able to probe that agency into, do I believe that this agency can do right by me with the budget, with the resource, with the time, with the experience, with what I want to achieve?
Love this. And a last one for you, Anthony. And it's not, I guess it's a bit of a curveball. Is AI going to replace SEO agencies?
I reckon AI will replace those who are not as good as they should be. AI is, we'll use it. No, honestly, we'll use it to speed up your work. You use it to use certain tools to get things done quicker, at a decent quality. People, use it to ideate content. Don't use it to write it. I think AI will I think there still needs to be a human brain behind SEO and actually understanding the business and actually talking human to human. But AI definitely is going to make redundant some, either improve some tools or make some tools redundant. Will hit a few of the agencies who probably should have been gone a long time ago. And not just in SEO, in other areas as well. But yeah, I think AI will beat some SEO agencies, but AI will really help those agencies who know how to use it and beat.
Anthony, thank you so much for coming on SEO Gurus. If people want to find out more about you or StudioHawk, where should they go?
Hit me up on LinkedIn at Anthony Barone or hit us up at studiohawk.co.uk.
Fantastic. We'll put all the links in the description. Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks very much, mate. Cheers.
Hey, thank you so much for making it to the end. For more content updates, visit our website at ghapodcast.com and don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn for more tips and insights on SEO. See you in the next episode.